Hello. Okay, I think we should be live. Hello, everybody. I love that. I love seeing these familiar names pop back in here. There's a girl who comes from Romania every week, which is really fun. But let's do our quick introduction here. First things first, I'm coming to you from Edmonton. That's Amasquatchie, and as our guest last week, Cassia Hardy was pointing out, this is Treaty 6 territory. I just wanted to do a quick land acknowledgement on that. And secondly, the Black Lives Matter movement is still very much going on, whether or not you're hearing about it in the media. So it's part of our kind of mandate here that we're donating $100 to a local organization to where our guests are at every week. We're still figuring out where it's going to be going this week, but I will definitely follow up and let you know where that's going. So I'm very excited to introduce to you Nicolle Swims.
Oh,
Hello. Nicole is an artist. I won't even try to put you in a genre yet. We'll get to that in a second. But Nicole fronts a band called Black Ends. Do you want to tell us about your genre? I've seen noise, pop, art folk, anti-folk, and gunk.
anti-folk, you've seen that?
I've
Wow.
seen anti-folk. Anti-folk was a comparison you got on the KEXP article, which we'll talk about a little bit later too.
Okay. I don't remember reading that, but that's pretty cool. I don't know. I like to call my music gunk-pop. I kind of made that up myself, and I think it suits us pretty well. Just kind of gross and poppy, Just
Gross. Okay.
kind of like nasty pop music.
Okay. I thought it was
Yeah.
like a combo word, like gothic punk or like grunge punk. But I didn't
That
know I didn't
gunk,
hear gothic, but
like
gunk.
gunk your shoe, like gunk.
Yeah,
Just
no, I like it.
yeah.
It's very Seattle. Yeah, so I may not have mentioned you're coming to us from Seattle, and I believe you're our first international guest. It's been a few of my Canadian friends from across the country so far, and you're coming to us from south of the border.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Okay, so you released today a brand new EP called Stay Evil
Yep.
that I linked to. Hopefully everybody can read that link right up at the top of the chat. Do you want to tell us about it?
Yeah. Do you want to know something specific or just?
Okay, well, I know that you had listed it as a dedication to George Floyd, but I
Mhm.
also know as an artist as well that the process of writing this music probably took you back to a time before this most recent Black Lives
Oh,
Matter movement chapter with George Floyd and everything. So I want to hear about the tracks themselves
okay.
first.
Yeah. The first song that we recorded for this EP was called Monday Morning,
Mm-hmm.
and we recorded that probably it was last year, probably around I'm gonna say like September or something. Um, Yeah, that was the first track we recorded for it. Then we had "Stay Evil," that's the title track, and we
Mm-hmm.
recorded that in Johnny's basement. Actually, we just recorded that in a basement and kind of messed around with the mixing for that. Like I don't know, the writing process was super. It was super easy because I've had these songs for a while, like these ideas for a while. So I just kind of rolled with it,
Right.
like "Live in the Sea." That was a pretty recent song. I wrote that last year, and I thought it would be pretty cool to put something kind of newer on the EP with the older songs. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah. Then we the drummer is actually Canadian. And he is his name's Maxwell Patterson, and he is really cool. He's really good. We met him on tour a while back, and that was really fun. But yeah, so all of these songs are pretty old, or yeah, I'd say they're older, but I feel like they still have a message to send out. So
For sure.
yeah.
Um, I was going to ask you, would you say there's an overarching theme through it now, and do you think it ties into why you decided to release it now? Or did you change when you were going to release it?
No, I
Yeah.
didn't. No, I just when the George Floyd thing happened, I just kind of I realize that my music kind of relates to racism in general, just because I live through that all the time. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted. Well, you can go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to ask you about a line. It was like recant racist writings to my dog.
Recant racist viewpoints to my dog.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, I was really curious. Just like as an artist in general, releasing anything right now is crazy. I know that my perspective. So where I met, who introduced me to your work, although I'm sure I would have found it this week as it's getting lots of attention. Peter Campanelli was a mutual friend of ours in Seattle who pointed me towards your work.
Yeah.
And Peter Campanelli's great. You should go check out their stuff as well. But I met them on tour. So touring is a big aspect of what I like to do. And that's like a big goal of mine, is to get to travel with it. What were your plans, and where have you toured, and what were you hoping to be doing with this music right now?
I went on my first tour ever last summer. It started in, I think it was August to like the end of, wait, was it August? It was September, to, like the middle of September to the beginning of October. And that was my tour ever. And it was the best experience ever. And we were going to go on another tour before COVID happened. We were going to go on tour. We were going to play 4 festivals. We had like 4 music festivals lined up. It's kind of really sad.
Yeah, it is. That is very sad.
We were going to do a lot of things, but
where did you tour?
Where we toured mostly it was in California. We toured some parts of Oregon and some parts of California, but and then we went to Canada as well. That was our first stop in Canada.
Where did you go in Canada? Vancouver?
Vancouver, yeah.
Where did you play?
It was this like DIY spot. I can't remember the name, but we played with this band called the Gins and Apathy Skulls. It was pretty cool.
I'm just curious, was the space called the Avant Garden?
Yes, actually, that's it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so I actually played there, or a sister venue of there. It ended up being very DIY. It was the back of a convenience store.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because like we were going to play. I think we played a sister venue too, because like they moved the venue right when we got there. So it was some different venue. It was in the middle of like this long road. I don't really know what was going on there, but it was really, it kind of looked like a hotel lobby, but it was really,
yeah. Some of that stuff turns out to be like the most fun, and it is too bad you don't get to go on these tours right now. I'm really sorry for that. I myself was just starting to get some legs underneath me, and actually to come to the States for the first time was a big hurdle for us. Not because there's huge demand or anything, but just to be able to go and do it, and for Canadians to come down is so tricky. But anyway, I do want to keep talking about what you were planning on doing. So what were these festivals you were supposed to be playing at?
We were going to play Treeport. We were going to play like a small thing in Mexico. It wasn't going to be like a huge festival. It was just we were going to like join our friend on stage doing something. And then we're going to play this one in Everett called Fisherman's Village. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Fisherman's Village. And that was going to be pretty fun because a lot of people were going to go out to that one. And then we were going to play one more that I can't think of right now. I don't remember.
That's cool.
But,
and then where? Orlando?
No. We had 4 lined up. I think it was going to be somewhere in Washington. I just don't remember the name of it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. It'll come back. In the meantime, how are you spending your days? Like, are you still able to work? I don't have any work here. I'm sitting in my bathtub.
Not really. I mean, I'm like applying to jobs, but I'm not really working right now, but it's kind of nice. But also I'm kind of very bored and I want to do something.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to write too much. I've been learning like guitar parts from albums I like, but I haven't been able to like write stuff myself lately because I've just not been in that mood.
Similar thing
Yeah,
over
yeah.
here. Okay, so speaking of writing then, even though it might not be happening now, do you feel like you write lyrics first or music first, or is it a mishmash?
Hmm. I feel like I write lyrics first a lot. I kind of just go through my notebook, whatever I have on there, and I kind of write songs to the words.
Mhm.
But sometimes like with Stay Evil, I had that music pretty much written before the lyrics. It kind of depends, but mostly it's lyrics first and then music. I actually don't really know. It's kind of hard to say because
Yeah,
sometimes I have music written for years and no lyrics. Sometimes I have lyrics that sound really cool, and I'm like, I have no idea where like what to put with this. So
right.
just yeah.
Do you do lots of the production and the writing on your own? So something I've learned is and for lots of our audience here, I know lots of you are animators and creators yourselves, and there's this great homegrown attitude to YouTubers. Like my younger brother, I was mentioning to you earlier, he's an animator himself, and it amazed me. It took him years, but he was homegrowing these products by himself. And I've recently learned about the role of a producer, what a producer can be doing for your music or your art. So where do you stand on that? Do you like producing it yourself? Are you able to do that? Or do you outsource it and collaborate with more people?
I like to collaborate. Just I don't think I'm like the best producer. I do write my own music by myself, and I write most of the parts, but I like to collaborate with people, and because I feel like people can do it better than me.
Yeah.
So why not them? You know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I write most of like all the songs by myself. But I just if I'm gonna record them, I want them to sound like a certain way, and I don't think I could replicate that yet. So I do write. I do kind of like do doodles and like post them on Bandcamp sometimes, like just random small ideas of songs, but it doesn't sound very good. It's just kind of
Right.
yeah.
And that's a different approach, and one that I'm coming to learn as well, where it is that DIY approach where you're homegrown. I've seen as I'm starting in this industry or whatever, this big messy glob, that you can kind of go this more commercial route, and that's where it's pushing you towards releasing your music on Spotify and all these things, and trying to attack radio stations. Or there's this route where it's like, hey, I'm truly homegrown, and I want to share with you my process and my progress, and
Mhm.
that can lead to so much more. To get all businessy and gross on it for a sec, so much more like investment in what that artist is up to.
Yeah,
That's where the really cool people are, like they're just like, oh, we're just making art.
exactly. That's where I want to be
Yeah,
always.
yeah, that's super cool. And it sounds like even just the sound you have, it's right in that pocket, and I can see why it's getting lots of attention, as it should. I want to ask you next about being in Seattle. So I was reading and listening, of course. I listened to the EP lots today, as it just came out today. Go listen to Stay Evil. And it is on Spotify, on Bandcamp, and all the places. Um, but there was a comparison to Kurt Cobain and Nirvana, and I could hear it. I could hear it's like this descending melody, like, yeah, whatever that is.
Oh,
And I could hear that in the last track, especially Low. So how do
that's
you how do you find the scene there? How do you find being where there is lots of history in this, maybe not gunk region, but grunge for sure? How do you like being in that world, and how's it look now?
I mean, it's not. It's I really love being here. I think the music scene is really great, and
Mhm.
there's some really cool bands doing some really important things here. And like, I feel like it's not like the grunge scene. It's not like people are doing. Every band here is doing something different.
Mhm.
It's not one certain kind of music. It's a lot of different things, and it's still a community, and everything's pretty beautiful and musical here. And yeah, I think you asked me something else, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. My questions are kind of rambling. I just made up these questions like an hour ago. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like feel like being here is pretty great. Kurt Cobain's like one of my biggest musical influences. I didn't really move here because of that, but I do keep that in the back of my mind. I'm like, Kurt, I like he's in my head, and I really want to make music, like pop music, that good. So yeah, he's an inspiration. But I have a lot of inspirations.
Well, who else would we say we could like, if we look for? Because I know it's like really insidious and they're hiding and they're in your brain and you want them to just leak out. Who else could we be looking for to be like hiding in the CP?
I really love Jeff Buckley a lot.
Jeff Buckley.
Yeah, he's a huge influence on my voice. And I also love Elliott Smith's songwriting a lot.
Cool.
Really love Elliott. Yeah.
Jeff Buckley and Elliott Smith meet Kurt Cobain.
I also like Nina Simone too.
Nina Simone, yeah, good one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know if she like leaks out on my music, but I just love her a lot.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I find it's like hiding this secret blender of people who you do like let influence your work, or you'll be like, okay, I know if I'm really stuck, for example, I'll like write lyrics over a song I really like. And but then I'm like, I feel like lots of the work goes into me trying to make it my own, and that can be really good. Sometimes something cool comes out of that. Sometimes I'm like, people are going to see right through me and they're going to know influences is like borrowing. That's the ugly secret of it all. And I'm like so self-conscious of that.
I feel like I wear my influences on my sleeve, so I honestly get that.
Cool. Yeah. I want to get to some music. I want to ask you one more thing, though. It's something I've seen in the news, and by the news I mean on Twitter, because that is where I'm finding my news. So you're in Seattle. I know it's a big, sprawling mega city like Vancouver and every other big city. But I just want to ask you, just as somebody who's living there, what was up with this autonomous zone thing? I don't know if you guys saw, the viewers, the listeners, I don't know if you saw this, but I kept seeing this like community that formed in Seattle as a reaction to BLM and George Floyd. Can you tell me more about that environment?
Yeah. It was a weird environment. Like at first it was just a protest zone where you got together and planned out what you were going to do, what your goals were, and how were you going to achieve those goals. And it kind of got out of hand, and a lot of white people kind of fucked it up and made it really like Coachella-y, and they kind of made it into a music festival instead of actually listening to what the goals were. It was basically supposed to just, it wasn't the goal. It was never the goal to have an autonomous zone, but it was important for people to go and learn. And that's what, it was just it's a place to just educate people. And it was that for a while, and it kind of just got ruined, but
right.
Yeah.
Is it still ongoing?
It's not. It actually has been shut down now, but
wow.
It was going for a while. It was, I'm gonna say it was like a month. Maybe it was, I don't know. I can't keep track of time, but it was a while. It was up for a while. And it was a pretty great place to be for a second. And then it just kind of fell apart. But it wasn't the goal in the first place. It's still, people are still educating and protesting around the city, and
right.
It's happening. So
that seems to be the tricky thing right now is okay, organizing, unifying, getting a message that we can send clearly out to the powers that be, asking for change. And where the other side of the argument seems to get traction is, oh, the protesters did this and they did this and it became a Coachella music festival or whatever, for example. So that seems to be the difficulty. But I just wondered, because I stopped hearing about it, and that's kind of my point here, right? We stop hearing about these things and it's like they go away. And
yeah,
that's a sad reality of how we consume stuff right now.
Yeah, it really is. I definitely agree.
I would love to move on from that slightly disheartening chat, though, and I'd really like to hear just some of your music. So today's the big day. I hope you've been getting lots of great feedback and lots of shares on everything.
I'm really appreciating it. It's great. Let me get my guitar out real quick.
Nice.
All right.
So what are you gonna play?
I think I'm gonna play Monday Morning. It's kind of long though. Maybe
nice. Go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Monday morning, I become a star. Don't you Tuesday morning, I become the rain. Make your funny faces at your face.
Nice.
Is that just one song, right?
Oh yeah, maybe we'll trade one. Maybe I'll join you too. You're getting claps. You're getting claps in the feed here.
You.
That's great. I like that one a lot. I think that one or Stay Evil are probably my favorites of the four, but they're all great. I seriously listened to them probably 5 or 6 times today. I was like, okay, I better get a read on these. I only have today to do it, and then I was like, okay, these are cool. I'm like doing dishes. I'm like, yes, that's cool.
They're good. They're dishes songs. Like doing dishes.
Yeah, they're dishes songs. Yeah, for sure. I hadn't planned out what I was going to play today. That was really good. You're getting great feedback here. I should dial into the chat here for a second. I'm sorry to ignore you over here. Thank you everybody for being here today. Some lovely familiar faces. We got Jivo and Jusong, and some new friends as well. Tom Nook, hello. Rizzle Spizzles is back. I love YouTuber names. I think it's great. I like how much we all form internet identities these days. Well, like I like it and I don't like it, but these are great names. The rhythm reminded me of a childhood video game, Rexio. There you go. I know I already said this, but she's great. So are you and your brother Devin from Ginger Pale. Yes, we get lots of Ginger Pale fans here. Okay, I'm going to do one called The Introvert. Can you hear it okay?
Yeah, I got it. It's coming through.
When I'm on my own, before I'm dead, but while I'm grown, I think I might skip town. When I'm at the school, words and colors dying too, I make up and go away. You can come with me, you're nearby me at best. I'm alone by definition. When you leave I rest. Yeah, I'm back at peace, living easy. Oh, introvert I stay. Sha-la-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la. I'll stare at my feet where the flowers bloom and the air smells sweet and the grass grows. I don't need from you beauties in no eye that I hold to. I've seen you blues and gray on the screens. You can come, but you're not with me. You're nearby me at best. I'm alone by definition. When you leave I rest. Yeah, and I'm back at peace, living easy. Oh, the introvert I stay. Sha-la-la-la-la-la, 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 sha-la-la-la-la-la. You can listen, but not with me. Nearby me at best. Here is restitution, safety, nest, and I'm back at peace, living easy. Oh, introvert I stay. Sha-la-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la,
Yeah.
There's less gunk in these ones, but hey, that's just what I make. So
I love your voice.
Thanks. I like yours too.
Yeah,
It's very distinctive. I like it a lot.
sweet.
Thanks. I think that's really all I had planned for you here today, and I'm really glad you could be joining us. And so Nicole, Nicolle Swims. This is Black Ends, and definitely please check out their. It's not your first EP; it's your second EP, I think. Second EP, Stay Evil, which is out today on all the places. If you want to buy it, the best place to go is to Bandcamp. Bandcamp.com. It's where you should find lots of your music and where you can support the artists pretty much directly. Yeah, that's it. We will see you next week. And thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I'm going to end our stream. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay.